Alrighty. All the racers are ready to start. I'm going to bring KLM in here. Yo, what's up, KLM? Oh, we have a thump. KLM, can you hear me? Well, maybe he is just taking a quick moment. He is in the commentary room. We will get that sorted out as we go, but everyone is already off on the fly. So, Mega Man 1, all stages glitchless, for those of you that may not have seen this game, perhaps. And I'm going to see if I get some game audio going for everyone. There we go. So, all stages glitchless. Well, what can you expect? You can expect all of the Mega Man 1 goodness with none of the glitches that I'm sure the majority of us have used to complete the game. So, what constitutes a glitch? Let's break this down. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so what constitutes a glitch? As Chad is saying, no pause glitching. Yes, no cheating allowed via Kumba. Yeah, you won't see any of the damage cancels. You won't see any of the zips. You won't see any of the iframe tricks with the bosses. This is plain Jane as it was meant to be played. Mega Man 1. No Game Genie? Well, I guess we can allow Game Genie, right? That's not a glitch, right? Right? No accidental dupes. I can't even get intended dupes. But yeah, good luck to all 4 of our runners. We've got 4 really amazing Mega Man 1 runners here for you guys. I hope you're super excited. I know I am. Just gonna...
All right, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Woohoo!
Did you work for Verizon?
No.
Welcome. GG on your run and your race, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I got some pretty bad RNG from the Walrus, but otherwise it was a pretty solid run.
Yeah, if you happen to watch it back, the Walrus was really where stuff had a chance to catch up.
Yeah, I had the stream open, but I didn't see the chat while I was running, but I saw everything afterwards. I saw how close it was, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really good race for, like, very entertaining. It was a nail biter right until the very end, to be honest.
It's awesome. Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this to you for a quick moment. There's a couple of things I'm gonna do on the back end here, and I do need to take a quick washroom break, but I will be back. I will leave this in your capable hands.
No worries. Thank you. Okay, so you can see the guys are all going through Cutman stage here. Now the all stages run will allow you to use pause buffer glitches to get through faster, also wrap the screen on some of the ladders to go through faster, but these guys are doing glitchless, so they won't be able to do any of those tricks. So you can see them going through here. They're all going through at pretty much the same pace here. It's pretty close so far. You can see it looks like Squid is in the lead at the moment. So see how they go through this last part. So you want to make sure you have enough health coming to the end of this stage. There is the enemy called the Big Eye. That will do, I believe it's 8 ticks of damage, so you want to make sure you have at least that much, because there's 2 different patterns that he can give you. We'll see Squidman coming up to this one now. So Squidman gets the high jump, which is the good one. Stuff gets the low jump, so you can see how much damage it really does there. So you want to make sure you have enough health to take that damage. So we're going to see the guys go through the corridor here. You want to make sure you take out these turrets so they don't do any additional damage here. And then on the Cutman fight, it's pretty easy. We're going to use Gutsman's weapon to kill Cutman. You use both of these blocks, so you got to make sure you don't miss, though, because they only give you 2 blocks, but it takes 2 blocks to kill him. Now, you have to be very careful on this fight in the glitchless category, because there's a trick you can do called dupes, where basically if you push the shoot button on the same frame that the last block leaves the screen, you will duplicate a block, which allows you to have an extra block, but in this category, it is against the rules, so you got to make sure you are very careful when pushing the shoot button when those blocks are leaving the screen. So, coming to Electman stage. Electman stage in any category, I feel like, is probably one of the most difficult stages. It's a completely vertical level, so you're climbing the whole time, but there's a lot of very tight jumps and very precise movement that you have to go through this level. So, even in this category, it's very difficult. So we'll see how these guys take the climb here. These enemies that spawn on the sides here, they're very difficult. You have to make sure that you make quick work of them, or else they can knock you down off of the ladder. And in this stage, it's easy to fall down at least 2 or 3 different screens, which is going to cost you a lot of time. So Squidman's coming up to the corner jump here. So you can see it's a very tight jump here. Alright, so Squidman gets it. See how Stuff's going to inch his way over. It's very smart. And the other 2 guys get it first try, so that's very nice. If you fall down off of that corner jump and fall down to the next screen, it costs at least 11 seconds. Could be longer depending on how quickly you get back up and if you fall again. So good job for all those guys making that jump. Okay, so Squidman is coming up to where you get the magnet beam here. Now in the all stages category, you'll use a glitch to basically flip into the wall to grab this. Otherwise, you can use the guts weapon to get rid of these blocks. Same thing with all the guts blocks. You have to be careful in this category not to push the shoot button too quickly, because you do not want to duplicate any of these blocks, or else your run is invalid and you basically reset. So all the guys do a good job not getting any duplications there. Okay, so the magnet beam is usually it's a very broken weapon in the all stages run, because you'll use it to do a lot of the zips. But in this category, obviously, we're not doing any zips or glitches, but it is still a very useful utility, because it allows you to go through the stages as quick as possible. So we'll see the guys use the magnet beam a lot in this run. So we got our second encounter with the big eye here. So again, he can give you the 2 patterns. He can give you a high jump or a low jump. So obviously you want the high jump so you can walk right under him. Okay, so this is one of the most difficult parts of the run, doing this quick corridor climb here. We can see Squid did a very good job. Stuff did a really good job as well. Basically made up all the time difference between them, so they're pretty dead even. We'll see how the other 2 guys do. It's very tight inputs to get that first shot to land where you need it to in order to climb up as fast as possible. There are slower, more safer ways to do it, but it's very difficult trick. Probably one of the most difficult tricks in the run. So, but all the guys do a pretty good job. So Stuff and Squid are pretty much dead even here. This is very close for them. Yeah, this is the only category where you don't want any dupes at all. Most of the time you'll count for dupes, you want to see dupes, but this one you don't want to see any at all. So Iceman stage is very difficult as well. This is basically, we're going to see the magnet beam used throughout this entire level just to skip all these water sections. You want to stay out of the water, because when in the water, Mega Man moves at about, I believe it's like 75% the normal walking speed. So we want to make sure that we keep him above water at all times, or else it's going to really slow him down. This section you can see Squid just went through and Stuff's going through now is the dreaded Yoku blocks that everyone is familiar with. For some reason they felt the need to put them in every other Mega Man game after this one. But the magnet beam allows us to quickly just get past those sections without having to worry about it. These platforms as well, as you can see the 2 guys at the top going past, they are complete RNG with the way they move. And they also have very janky hitboxes, so it's easy to either fall to your death or to get a pattern that you can't even cross against. So the magnet beam again allows us to just completely just go past them and not even worry about it. So you can see all the guys will have they actually conserve their magnet beam energy perfectly. You can see every single one of them use their last magnet beam shot to get across the final part of that gap. So very good use of the ammo there.
You don't love Yoku blocks? Really?
Somebody thought it was a great idea because they had decided to, I believe they put it in every single one going forward, so...
Now I'm actually going to have to think about that. I mean, I know it's in 2, I know it's in 3, I'm trying to think where it would be located in 4 to 6, I don't know right off the top of my head.
So I know 4 and 5, they're in either the Wily or the pre-Wily stages. I know that.
I know they're in 7. I'm trying to think of an instance of Yoku blocks in 6, but all I'm thinking are those little platforms that switch directions after you land on them.
Right.
Point taken though. It's a lot of
I think
Yoku.
it even crossed over to some of the X games too, if I'm not mistaken.
And the 0 games, actually.
Yeah. So I want everyone to take a look at Squidman's screen here. So he has these strats with the Iceman's weapon through this stage that are they're just really impressive to watch. They look just as cool as they are effective. So he's going to use Iceman's weapon to freeze the fire pillars to navigate his way through this stage as quick as possible. It really is. The first time I saw it, I was just like, wow, this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Still very close. I know I was gone for a minute. Thanks, stay hydrated, bot. I'm assuming that none of our runners have taken a death as of yet, given that they're all still on fire stage.
No deaths as of yet. Yeah, Stuff and Squid are pretty close, and the other two are actually pretty close in relation to each other as well. So
Nice.
Pretty interesting race to watch so far. But yeah, no deaths as of yet. So it's going pretty well for all the runners.
And we've actually got some serious sync in terms of streams going on. All of the 4 streams that you're looking at on my multi-Twitch are all within 1 second of each other, so timer is accurate. Everyone is where they are respectively based on what you're looking at.
In this category, you're not allowed to pause to reduce knockback. So I don't know.
I think the one caveat to that, and what they may have seen, because I just saw HARDselection do it as well, switching to ice can. And I admittedly do not know the terms of Glitchless that well. Are you allowed to do it for the sake of a weapon swap? Because then you're not doing it solely for the purpose of knockback reduction?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that's on the fence, because technically you could just do it all the time.
Yeah, and I mean...
just pause it. I think it's allowed if it's a legitimate weapon swap, but I think excessive use of it would kind of flag it. But
I would imagine. But yeah, what I was seeing there and what I'm guessing we saw on Squidman's screen, but I know I saw on HARDselection screen, is when he switched to ice before Fireman. It was when he got damaged, but it was for the sake of switching to ice.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if it's for the sake of switching weapons, then I believe it is allowed. But again, it's one of those fine lines when it comes to a category like this, because there can be an argument for anything that's like what really is considered a glitch or not. So, but I think the guys have done a really good job of keeping this going and kind of defining the category. And I think for a lot of the glitchless or zipless or whatever categories that are out there, like this one's pretty well defined. I mean, there's not really much gray area for argument. So
no, and I mean the communities are really good about kind of hashing out these rules themselves. I know our very own Kame, who's going to be coming up in the Mega Man 2 Rando race, has recently been forging ahead with Mega Man 6 Buster only rules. You put together a full rule set. It was beautiful. So the community is absolutely great in actually defining these and kind of coming to a mutual agreement before heading forward, which is nice.
Yeah, especially in the classic Mega community, anyways, is really great about communicating with each other and kind of just teaming with each other to kind of just have a cohesive rule set for everything, which is really cool. So yeah, I mean, as you guys can see, really how effective or how useful of a utility this magnet beam is. I mean, you're basically just using it to cross every single one of these stages. So
2 runners at a bomb. 2 runners.
Yeah, so Stuff and Squid are pretty even still here, and actually our other 2 guys are pretty close to each other still as well. So still no deaths, which is great.
Good old Dr. Wigglebrows.
Wily again.
I'm pretty sure that was Mr. X, wasn't it?
I think so.
I love Mega Man 6 because I always just describe it as the game where Wily essentially busted out one of those like fake nose, glasses, and mustache combos, and that is Mega Man 6. The Squid
Okay, so
not
this part that
freezing the
Squid's
flame.
coming up to, he makes it look a lot easier than it is, but those jumps around those fire pillars and that little corridor there is extremely difficult.
Stuff
And
also
it's-
doing it cleanly, but I fully agree with you. I take the baby steps and I definitely bust out the ice weapon to freeze those things.
Yeah, and actually there's a term, it's actually coined by Stuff, it's called stuff and stuck, when you get stuck down there and there's no way out. Because it feels like once you fall once, there's literally no escape, like you have to take a death because it just doesn't work. And I think anybody who's ever done any serious attempts at this game have gotten stuck there at one point in their life, so... This is another section that Squid just went through with the magnet beam there, climbing up that corridor, is also very difficult.
Shoutouts to all of our casuals who don't realize that magnet beam's required until you get to that very point.
Yeah, exactly.
Not gonna lie, it kind of feels like the middle game the game just kind of gives you a little bit of a middle finger there. Especially after this giant spike section with these daunting platforms. Like, imagine if you got through that without magnet beam and then you just can't climb.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'm seeing in the
Because
chat
even with
flaming
like
hot Cheetos.
the guts weapon, it's not very clear of what exactly that it does. Anyways, I mean, you kind of get a hint during the fight when he throws big blocks at you, but the blocks that are throwable aren't really that clear. Like, they don't really point it out to you, so...
And if you're looking for those blocks on Cutman refight, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the Yellow Devil fight. In Glitchless, you do have to hit every cycle. There's a quicker strat to do it if you have full life. You can see Squid doing it here, is you actually take a damage boost, and that way you're able to hit him basically as soon as the eye spawns. It's the quickest way to do this fight in this category. So you want to make sure you get to this fight with plenty of health to take these damage boosts.
Can you actually get doubles?
No.
Okay. I didn't
Not
think
in this
so.
category, because you can only get one shot in before the eye starts to go to the other side. But that's the fastest way to do it as Squid. Squid had a beautiful fight there. You just take damage, and that way you can hit it on basically the first frame that the eye spawns.
Isn't that really only beneficial for the last hit, though? Because, I mean, the rest of it's on a timed cycle, is it not? Or does he actually... Does hitting him actually cause the eye to close?
Yeah, so hitting it, I believe, causes the eye to close and spawn to the other side. So
Okay.
The sooner you can hit it, I don't know if it's by much of a difference, but if you figure, what is it, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 hits?
Too many.
I mean, over that course of time, I mean, it adds up.
My answer is still too many.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting into the refights now. So this is the cut refight that Stryzer was just mentioning. So there's no blocks there, so you do have to do this fight with the Buster. Well, I guess you could use another weapon, but the Buster is the fastest way to do it.
Does Cutman also take decent damage from fire in this version?
He does, yeah, I believe he has a soft weakness to fire, but you need the fire ammo for not only the boss on this stage, but the boss of the final stage, and you also need it for the bomb refight, so it's not really wise to use it here unless you're going to pick up a bunch of refills. Or bank on getting a refill drop.
I see Jenny mentioning in chat that Stuff did some science, and suddenly I feel like we need to use the term stuff in science. There we go, there's Kyle with it. Thank you. And this is a great race. Everyone's still keeping it extremely tight.
Yeah, let's see. So as of right now, it looks like, yeah, everyone's pretty much within like 10 to 15 seconds of their PB. Squid is actually, according to his splits, it's on PB pace right now.
Don't say that. Don't tell him.
It's early. But this is the copy robot fight here. So fire is I guess the main weakness. I think Elect does the same amount of damage, but you can see when you shoot, he basically shoots at the same time. And the Elect hitbox weapon the weapon hitbox is a lot larger and like causes more lag too. So it's faster to use the fire weapon here, and it's a lot easier. So you can see both of those guys doing a good job on that fight. Okay, so Wily 3, there's a big hallway at the end here where you have to dodge some penguins, which is known as the Walk of Shame in all stages because there is a zip where you can just skip this whole section, but obviously in Glitchless we're not able to do that. So there's this weird physic down here where I can't tell if it's like, it looks like a wave of water, I guess, that kind of pushes them along a little faster here.
Yeah, it's like the pipeline.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, ride the wave.
It's not a difficult section at all. These penguins are basically on the same timer, so once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to dodge them all. But the fight here coming up, you'll see. So there's 4 blocks. There's 7 total of these bubble bots that'll come out. So the first 3 you're going to want to kill with the Buster because they are the slowest moving ones. You'll see the more you kill, the faster that they'll move. You might not see too much of it though, because the blocks make quick work of them though. But, again, dupe warning here. You gotta be very careful about not pushing the shoot button too quickly, because if you duplicate a block, then your run is invalid. So Squid does a great job on that fight.
I think ultimately we could cut the runners a little slack, and if someone were to accidentally dupe, toss it aside in this event, and we could have discussed that prior, but toss it aside and don't use it, and I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
Just for this. Obviously it would not qualify in leaderboard standards.
Okay, so there's some interesting strats here that make this category a little different. Right on this screen here, you can see that Squid used the magnet beam to get up that screen a lot faster. It makes you think if there is a use for that in the all stages run too, because it does make that screen a whole lot faster than climbing up that ladder. So it's a really cool strat. The first time I saw it, I was pretty impressed by it.
Even getting the modest jumps up the ladder gaps using the beam there, which is nice. Has to make sure not to do the small zip at the top of that tiny ladder.
Yeah, and also when you go through these teleporters, if you hold left, you do a small little clip to the right when you get out of this teleporter, so you got to make sure that you're not holding any direction when you go through these teleporters, because that is technically a glitch as well.
Well, that's how that works. I know there was mention of, accidental teleporter zips, but I didn't know the actual mechanics behind it.
Yeah, so basically you just hold left when you're going through, and it'll just automatically push you a tiny bit to the right. I mean, I don't even think it really even is super beneficial, but again, it's technically a glitch, so you want to make sure you don't do that.
Wow, this is extremely close. There's literally 1 refight difference between Stuff and Squid.
Yeah, and Gutsman can be very trolly with the pattern that he gives you too, so this could go anyway here. Okay, so Gutsman's being very nice to Squidman. You want him to stay away as much as Gutsman sometimes likes to come up and give you a hug. You do want him to stay away here. Stuff's getting the same pattern here, so... Squidman's got a good amount of health coming into the Wily fight though, but anything could go wrong here, so we'll see how he handles it, but barring a major disaster, it looks like it's going to be Squid's race. We'll see. Alright, he's taking it a little safe here. We're a little worried about his health. This could prove a difference here. He's running out of fire ammo as well. He actually just recently had a PB that he lost because he ran out of fire ammo, but he's able to finish the fight anyways and take first place. It's like 23-12 according to his splits. And Stuffin comes right in behind him at 23-17 according to his splits, so very good games for both of those guys. Actually, it's worth noting that Squidman looks like he was again on PB pace coming into Wily 4. And our other 2 guys here are coming into the Wily fight as well, so it looks like Spawkling has very little health though. I don't know how he's going to play this, but we'll see. I believe if he takes 1 hit, yeah. I was going to say, if he takes 1 hit, he's probably dead, so...
Ouch.
HARDselection having a rough go here too. He's got to watch out for his health.
Shoutouts to rolling cutter strats.
Yeah. Yeah, nice job.
2406 for HARDselection.
Yeah, very nice. So just really quick about this little history lesson about this category is, so Stuff and Squid, both of them kind of took the lead of this category. They both kind of made it their own, and they've actually started recruiting, it seems like, for themselves as well. So these other two guys, HARDselection and spawkling down at the bottom, are like new recruits, I guess, for the Glitchless mob. And they both have been putting in some very impressive times too. So shouts to all these guys for basically taking this category and making it their own and coming up with new things and pushing that time. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see all these guys run this category in this game.
Yeah, GG to everyone. That was an amazing.
And also,
race.
they are looking for new members all the time. Anybody here was interested in what they saw, just reach out to any one of these guys and they'll get you hooked up.
Sweet. Well.